Friggity Friday poop shoot, and I'm so excited that the work week is almost over because I have had crazy shit going on this year. Easily my worst year at work ever. Not because of I don't work with anybody else, so I'm on my own. So obviously not because of myself and not because of my boss or anything, but just because of all the Max 8 stuff and the coronavirus, and so it's causing all this flight time changes and misconnections with flights. And then I've had some clients that are making problems out of nothing and being problem clients and taking it all out on me for stuff that is out of our control and is just stuff that's part of regular travel stuff when you go away to another country, right? Like that's the thing with selling a product in another country, is that your past experience you can rely on, but you're relying on people in another country to provide a service that you're buying in good faith, sort of thing, right? So things go wrong. That's that, and it happens in every destination at every hotel. Nobody bats 1,000, and that's the way it is. Some people understand that, other people don't, and of course, who gets yelled at? Me. But so I can't wait for this week to be over, and I can't wait for the next couple weeks to be over, because then we should be out of the thick of our busy season, and all this nonsense will hopefully be sorted out by the time next busy season comes around, hopefully. So, besides, never mind that rant, that's just me getting all blah about everything, but Leafs were continuing their West Coast California road trip last night. I was at my buddy Siv's house for some retro gaming, which I introduced everybody to in one of my vlogs from last week or the week before. So, I didn't see any of the game last night. They were in LA. I did check a couple updates on my phone, but there weren't many updates to be had because they went to overtime tied at 0. So, I think that's probably the only time that's happened to the Leafs this year, because normally, even when they lose, they still manage to score at least a couple goals or more. So to see that was interesting. Looking at the stats and then looking at the highlights this morning, it looked like a very close game. Shots were... LA had a slight edge in shots. Leafs had a slight edge in hits and face-off wins. Both power plays went 0 for 3. From the highlights, it looked like both goalies, they faced 30 shots or more. They both looked like they were dialed in, made some really good saves. Nylander got sent in on a couple of breakaways throughout the game, and Quick robbed him on both chances. It just looked like it was a bit of a goalie duel, and looked like a pretty entertaining game if I had been home to watch it. But yeah, so nothing got decided in overtime, and in the shootout, it went to the fourth round. The first three shooters couldn't decide anything, and then in the fourth round, Kempe for the Kings managed to beat Anderson, and the Leafs couldn't convert. And a couple chances in the shootout were kind of wasted because Matthews went to take a shot and whiffed on it, so that was a chance that wasn't a chance. And then when Marner was trying to keep pace with Kempe after his goal, he lost the handle when he tried to pull a deke and didn't really get a chance on that one too. So that's unfortunate, but the bright side is that the Panthers have been having troubles winning lately, so they're not keeping pace with the Leafs all that well and gaining any ground on them too. And then they ended up losing in overtime to the Bruins last night. So basically last night was a wash between those two teams. So the Leafs, they managed to put 3 good wins together after that whole debacle with Carolina. And then the San Jose loss from last game was a really good effort overall. They just kind of, after that really awesome first period, they just kind of let it slip away. And then last night looked like a really good game too. They just couldn't, it was a goalie duel and Quick won in the end in a shootout. So, there's nothing much you can do about that. So it looks like the effort's still there, that the execution is still there. And it's just a matter of, sometimes you run into a hot goalie, sometimes you get a bad break, whatever. I don't care as long as the effort's there. That's all I ask. Because the effort was there, and even though they ran into a hot goalie, they still scraped a point out of it, right? So that's what happens when you battle and you try and you give it 110% every night. You will get points with a team that good more often than not, right? So I'd say last night was an encouraging step in the right direction after the San Jose game. They just got stymied by Quick, and they'll finish things up in Anaheim tonight. So hopefully after my late night of video games last night. Hopefully I won't fall asleep during this game tonight, which is of course another late game, but chances are I will, because I'm old and I'm tired. I'm actually surprised I haven't yawned yet in this video, because most of my videos you'll see I yawn a lot. So anyways, that's the Leafs report. I'm looking forward to tonight's game. Back-to-back situation, so hopefully they've responded well in back-to-backs lately. The second game they've at least seemed to start the game well and have their legs, and it's a matter of finishing the game where they kind of run out of gas. So hopefully they can give her a full 60 minutes tonight, and if they do, they should have no problems beating Anaheim. But as I've said before, that you got to put in the work. So no matter who the opponent is, you got to show up and put in the work. And hopefully if they do that, they'll come away with a big 2 points. But we will find out in slightly over 12 hours, 13, 14 hours, we will find out for sure. So until tomorrow morning, I bid you adieu.